Hi there, welcome to another weekly video lesson where we briefly talk through one of the binder lessons. My name's Annie. As you know, I am one of the dietitians here at the KU Weight Management Program, so I'm excited to be with you here again this week. So this week we are covering exercise 101. Essentially, the purpose of this lesson is to give you really the fundamentals for just starting exercise. So we really, as you're starting your health journey, the initial goal is just to move more. We want you to get up and moving more frequently. We want you to start an exercise routine. So this lesson is going to kind of give you the tools to get that started. And then in future lessons, we'll fine tune, if you will, your regimen a little bit more. But like I said, the main purpose of this lesson today is just to give you the basic understanding of the different types of exercise and then give you kind of the tools to get started in your exercise routine, depending on your goals and preferences. So that's what we're covering today. We're going to jump in a little bit with cardio exercise, strength training exercise. We'll touch on injury prevention, and we'll also give you a little bit information about calculating your desired heart rate while exercising. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I want to cover aerobic or cardio exercise. This can be defined as any exercise that works major muscle groups, can be done continuously, and is rhythmic in nature. Cardio exercise is going to be activities that really overload the heart and lungs and improve the function and strength of our heart and our lungs. So most people might imagine that this has to be, running or on the elliptical, being on the treadmill, but it really is any activity that increases your heart rate, uses major muscle groups, and can be done for, longer periods of time. So that could be brisk walking, that could be swimming, that could be rowing, that could be hiking, biking, dancing, doing aerobic type exercise videos, exercise routines, things like that. So this could be a wide variety of different types of exercises. There are a wide variety of benefits to cardiovascular exercise. It very much can support your weight management goals and just overall health goals, whatever those may be. Definitely reduces our risk for chronic disease, so that's important. If you are, getting started with your exercise routine or just kind of coming into your exercise routine, the biggest thing I challenge you to figure out first is, what are you going to enjoy the most? So instead of thinking, what do I see online, or what do I think so-and-so told me I should be doing, consider what your favorite type of cardio exercise is, maybe just based off the list that I just listed, or if you have other cardio exercises you love. Choose the one you like the most, and choose a form of exercise that is really accessible to you. So something that will be something you can easily accomplish, that you don't have a ton of barriers between you and getting the exercise done. So that's cardio exercise. We also want to touch on what is strength training. So strength training, or also known as anaerobic exercise, is defined as any exercise that works a muscle or muscle group against a form of resistance. So the purpose of anaerobic training or strength training is to build strength in our muscle groups by using resistance against those muscles. So that could be what you might think of as traditional strength training, so holding dumbbells, lifting weights, or using resistance training machines at the gym. But this also could mean body weight exercises as well. So squats, push-ups, sit-ups, things like that don't require equipment. So strength training also has its benefits. One of the main benefits in terms of weight management is strength training is a great way to change your body composition. So we have less fat mass and more muscle mass. And that means that at rest, you will be more metabolically active, or you will be burning more calories at rest. So it's a very helpful weight management tool, especially to maintain the weight you've lost, is to have that body composition change. So Both forms of exercise are important, cardio and strength training. Like I said at the beginning of the video, our main goal for you in the beginning is to just get moving. So think about what your goals are, think about what your preferences are, think about what you have access to, and start doing it. Whether it's cardio, whether it's strength, whether it's a combination of both, we want you just to start moving more. And then later on, we can kind of fine tune your routine. But if I had to give you a piece of advice, it would be do a little bit of both if you can. Both cardio and strength training have their benefits. Both have a time and place. So if you have access and have desire to do both, find a kind of weekly routine that includes both components. So one thing I want to touch on is, like I said, calculating a good target heart rate range for you when you are doing aerobic exercise or that cardio exercise. Because oftentimes I hear people ask, how do I know if I'm working hard enough? How do I know if I'm doing the right intensity? And a really good way to know is your body will tell you. If you aren't able to sustain your cardio exercise for, 10 to 30 minutes at a time, then it's probably maybe a little bit too intense for your, current state of fitness. So your body will tell you, but a good way to calculate if you're kind of in a target intensity range for exercise is actually to use your heart rate. So we're going to walk through the equation to do that now so you could calculate it for yourself. And then when you're doing your cardio exercise next, you can measure your heart rate either by doing it manually, or if you have a fitness watch that measures heart rate, that's going to give you a good gauge if you need to maybe work a little bit harder and if you're in a good kind of intensity range. So the equation for calculating your ideal heart rate is we have to find your maximum heart rate first. And then ideally for cardio exercise, we want 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. That's what we're aiming for there. So let's walk through that equation now. The equation is 220 minus your age for maximum heart rate. So let's take an example easy of a 20-year-old. 220 minus their age gets us a maximum heart rate of 200 beats per minute. Now, if we want to calculate 65% of that, we would be at 130 beats per minute. And then to give them a range, 75% of that max is 150 beats per minute. So for this individual who is 20 years old, we found their maximum heart rate, and then we found that during aerobic or cardio exercise, we would want them to be about 130 to 150 beats per minute. And that's how they know they're kind of in a good sweet spot for, we know it's a good intensity, but we know they could sustain it for prolonged periods of time. So calculate that for yourself and then use that as a gauge to maybe motivate yourself to move a little bit quicker when you're doing your cardio exercise, or just to give you a good knowledge base of what your intensity should be at for that type of exercise. I want to wrap up today with injury prevention. So there are a few things that we can do to prevent injury, whether you're an experienced exerciser or someone who's just getting involved in their exercise routine. I want you to consider these following points so we know that you're protecting yourself from injury. First and foremost, if you are someone who is just getting started with exercise, or maybe you took a long time off and now you're just getting back into it, please start gradually. So sometimes what we do in our programs is we start participants off who haven't been exercising at all. We encourage them to do 45 minutes of exercise a week, and then they can slowly progress with their minutes of exercise and intensity of exercise from there. So that just gives you an example. It's okay to start small, maybe in 3 15-minute increments per week, and then challenge yourself moving forward. So start gradually. There's no need to jump in feet first. You might get burnt out, you might get injured. Second, do a warm up and a cool down. This could even just be 5 to 10 minutes before and after your workout that can include lower intensity exercises that kind of prep or prime those muscle groups that you're going to be working in your workout so they're ready to go and get the blood flow going. So do brief warm-ups and cool downs before and after your workouts. And in addition to that, you might want to add some dynamic and static stretching. So you know that you are improving that flexibility, that range of motion, and really preventing any sort of injury that could be occurring with your exercise. Additionally, schedule rest. So if you are someone who really enjoys exercise or has gotten into a routine with it, make sure that you are scheduling at least 1, if not 2 rest days. And those rest days can be a day where you do really no physical activity, or you can do very low impact activity, like for example, a brief walk with your dog, or just taking a brief walk around the block. So you still get up and moving, but you're really letting those muscle groups rest and recover. Last but not least, listen to your body. If you notice that you're feeling pain in certain areas or feeling really fatigued, make sure that you are resting, checking in with a medical provider, and just taking time to not push through the injury, but assess kind of what's going on. And if you need to take rest, definitely do so. All right, so that's exercise 101. Hopefully you feel like you have a better understanding of the difference between aerobic and anaerobic exercises, maybe what the benefits of each should be. Definitely want a main takeaway of this video to be really make sure you ease into exercise gradually and take those steps for injury prevention. But like I said, overall, try to get moving more often. Choose activities that you enjoy and have access to, and if you can, find a good combination between cardio exercises and then maybe adding in 2 strength training exercises per week as well. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for being here.